we had a customer literally went live on Rillet this month. Previously was closing in 15 days. Now they're closing the books in 3 days.
It's incredible.
First month on the platform.
Yeah.
Targeting 1 day next year.
Wow.
Right. The ROI.
You're listening to the Accounting Disruptors podcast powered by the WIS Lab. I'm Paul Peterson, CEO of WIS. This show is about the people transforming accounting, the founders building the technology and discovering what becomes possible with deployed intelligence and automation. Talk about disrupting. Rillet, an AI-native platform, has taken the ERP world by storm, directly targeting NetSuite. Today, I'm speaking with Stephen Hedlund, who I'm sure many of you have seen on LinkedIn with his engaging posts. We're going to dig into how Rillet plans to further disrupt the ERP space. So, Stephen, I'm so excited to be here today with you. You've done some amazing things so far with Rillet, so really, excited to hear about the journey so far and get a sense of, almost like I'd love the inception of Rillet to now, like what that journey has been like for you and the company, and what changes have you really seen from the initial thesis to where we are today? Like any big takeaways in terms of, hey, we expected X, but man, we're seeing Y.
Yeah. No, thanks for having me.
This is great. Yeah.
In terms of like what has shifted, I think for us. So we intentionally spent 2.5 years in stealth building the product. If you're going to compete with these legacy systems that have been around literally for 25 years plus, like it's serious business. Right. So we took the time to build in depth, get it right before coming to market. I think what we found surprising initially, we expected a lot of early customers to come from, say, like a QuickBooks, for example, and kind of upgrade into Rillet instead of going to NetSuite.
Okay.
Kind of a legacy ERP.
Yep.
And that has definitely been the case.
Yep.
What has surprised me is how quickly companies and customers currently on a legacy like ERP, like a NetSuite or Sage or something, are converting to Rillet.
Yeah.
That we expected that to happen, but not this quickly.
I got it.
I think.
Yeah.
And it's been a lot of the momentum in the market. It's been a lot of the love from customers of enjoying the product, seeing the benefits, scaling on it quickly.
Yep.
And then, especially with what AI is doing today.
Yeah.
And CFOs wanting to be AI native and not seeing that from their legacy systems.
Yep.
Has really accelerated the shift.
Sure.
To platforms like Rillet.
Yeah. And did you guys think AI would advance this quickly?
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
It's been wild actually and you probably see this from your seat as well, is I'd say probably 18 months ago.
Yeah.
Most accountants were still very skeptical.
Totally.
Of AI.
Yeah, totally.
Very skeptical.
Yep.
And since I'd say about January of this year, we've seen a massive shift where accountants not just curious, but actively implementing.
Yeah.
Really excited for it. Much more than I expected.
Yeah.
And in truth, I'm not sure exactly what did that. My kind of a assumption is a bit twofold. Is one, I think a lot of CFOs started to see AI in other areas of their business.
Right.
So they saw AI in customer service.
Yep.
They saw their engineers using AI. They saw their legal team using AI. And I think especially in January, I kind of looked back at the budget and said, oh, wow, look at those other teams using AI. Where are my tools?
Totally.
Right? Why am I not doing this?
Right.
And I think that helped shift perspective for a lot of CFOs.
I agree.
And started to then look for like, how can I implement AI in my workflows and my team and my tools? We've also seen more pressure from boards as well of pushing CFOs and finance teams to use AI more effectively. And I think some of that's driven by, obviously, companies are looking for profitability these days besides just growth, and interest rates have changed, and there's some macro headwinds there. And so there's some pressure from boards to do more with less and hit profitability goals and scale with lean teams. So there's other kind of macro trends driving it. But yes, it has accelerated much, much faster than we thought, and is continuing to accelerate.
Yeah. And what's interesting, one thing I wanted to point out, which I think is really cool, because you're seeing a lot of like companies emerging and startups and stuff like that. And you see a lot of, what do you do? Do you look for product fit? Do you just go to market quickly with, some prototype or whatnot, right? But you guys spent 2+ years in stealth mode, which it's a pretty significant amount of time. And I think there's some learning lessons from that, right? Like, so that's almost like what you guys have done a nice job in a way, is really getting yourselves out there. But I think that piece, I don't know if a lot of people know how much time you really spent in the lab.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Which is awesome.
It's that was kind of the thesis, is you have to, right?
Yeah.
If you come to market with a product that is not ready for, I guess this is the system of record for the company.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
If you don't get this right,
like you're gonna
CEOs get fired.
It's like issues.
Right? Yeah.
Sure.
So this is not the type of product that you can build in 6 months and just come to market, or even build in, you can't vibe code this thing.
Yeah.
It has to be something that's intentionally built and well developed in order to really make a difference and make it stick.
And what did you guys see in terms of, because we're going to get into a little bit of the current state of the ERP market, but what were you guys seeing that was like, we're on a mission here, we feel like we could do this so much better? And what were some of the almost like why the company was founded?
Yeah. I can say a bit of this like for my own journey, and then can share some of the founder's journey as well. But I started my career at Walmart on SAP, and I grew up using very sexy fintech tools like Robinhood and Venmo, and so I expected coming into my first job after college,
you're going to have similar technologies.
Yeah, this is the biggest company in the world.
User
right?
experience galore. Yeah,
they spend billions on tech, right? We should have the best tech.
Yeah,
not the case.
Yeah,
right. We were literally faxing things to our bankers to move money from one account to the other.
Yep.
And I'm like, there's no way this is the future.
Yeah.
A few years later, I joined my first startup in Silicon Valley.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, great. This is a startup.
Yeah.
We're going to use startup tech. Not the case. Right. We were on QuickBooks. We moved to NetSuite. It was supposed to take 12 months. It took 18. Still wasn't quite right. Still causing issues. And still obviously very practical and useful.
Yeah.
Right. Like very necessary for the business.
Right.
But also as a user was just very clear, this is not the future.
Yeah.
Moved to another startup, we were intact. And like I said, like I'm like, someone's going to build something better here. I met our founder, Nick, about a year after that, and I almost begged him. It's like, hey, what do you need?
Yeah.
Right? Like, this is the future. This is what I want to spend my life
How
doing.
did you meet him?
So we met through a mutual friend.
Oh, awesome.
It's actually funny. My friend from business school posted an internship for Rillet in our Slack channel, and I was like, man, I don't want an internship. Like, I want to work here full time. Like, I have literally been looking for this company for the last 10 years.
That's great.
Literally since I saw SAP.
Yeah. Well, it shows in just the way that you present yourself and the enthusiasm. So pretty interesting in the background now.
Wow, like this is the future, right?
Yeah.
And this is similar to Nick's story. Is he'd also been to these systems, actually implemented a legacy ERP when he was CEO, and even with the best finance team that he'd ever worked with before, it still took 15, 20, 30 days to get numbers. Right?
Yep.
And he's like, how am I supposed to grow and operate and accelerate this business when we can't even report the numbers accurately?
Right.
So lots of disconnected tools and databases, and that was his impetus for saying, hey, like, there's a better way to do this.
Yeah.
Let's spend the time, build it, get it right, but there's a better way to do this.
I'm glad that people like him exist, because in many of clients that we've had, and just unfortunately we can't even help them get their books closed in 15 30 days.
Yeah, right?
That would be a hell of a milestone.
Yeah.
So we have a ways to go to get the 0-day close, but we are hopeful. But like, maybe we should spend a little time just on the current state of the ERP market, right? So that it's like the ERPs came in. I would say, like, it's really interesting because, like, the innovation in accounting really has been static for many years. Okay, like, you think about the cloud was like a major innovation, so you could do things more remotely. You can actually have information spread out and be accessible and stuff like that, right? But other than that, like, even in public accounting and in many of our companies, there's one system of record, right? The ERP. Okay, and that came in and it was supposed to cure all and help you get all of these things done in a much more efficient way. We know that's really not true, right? And so I wanted to get a sense from you is like, what are you seeing right now and with companies in this current state, especially in the middle market? Yeah. How are they dealing with this? What are owners, CFOs, controllers? How have they been navigating through the ERP systems? And And how does Rillet provide sort of hope
Yep.
in getting to what maybe this, outcome was supposed to be, which was a much more effective way of having a system of record.
Yep. Yeah, no, it's really interesting because we've seen, I'd say, so much innovation within the office of the CFO.
Yeah.
Over the last 5, even 10 years.
Yep.
You have your bit older kind of AP tools, for example, the Airbases, Expensify, right, that did a lot of innovation. And then now newer tools like Ramp and Brax. And you've seen kind of incredible innovation around the GL, around the ERP, but not the core ERP itself.
Yep.
And that was really Rillet's kind of intuition to say, no one's rebuilt this. Right? Obviously, very hard to do.
Yep.
But if you're really going to change the lives of millions of accountants and really push the industry forward, that's where you should go. At the core.
Right.
And so that was kind of Rillet's kind of intuition direction. Was a big bet at the time. But has proved right.
Yeah.
And then that's what we're seeing from a lot of CFOs and customers is both when they adopt Rillet, they also move to a lot of these newer tools. And that allows for just massive acceleration. Yeah. Where like our company Windsurf, for example, grew from 10 to 100 million in revenue with just 2 people on the finance team.
That's incredible.
Yeah, like unheard of.
Yeah.
Right. And then this is what you can now do with your clients as well. Kind of this CFO in the box.
Yes.
Kind of mindset framework where say maybe like one CFO in seat at the company, but then with other companies, with their tools surrounding that kind of office of the CFO can scale this company from 10 to 102 billion.
Right.
In a way that was quite literally not possible 10 years ago.
Totally. That's like fascinating though. Maybe you can just like go a little bit further into that. How do they do that? How are they doing that kind of growth with such a small team? What are some of the best practices, I would say, of like what a company like that is doing?
Yeah. It's definitely like I don't know if it's like a tool first mentality.
Yeah,
is the right way to say it.
Okay, I like that.
It's kind of a perspective of what can I automate here?
Yeah.
Right. Before I kind of bring on new headcount or new people, right? Can I automate this first?
Yeah.
Is there a tool or process or something I can put in place to make that possible? And that is a very different mindset shift, I'd say, from 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Is going like not just throwing bodies at the problem, but how can I think about this differently? And that's what allows the company to scale. Right, is the right like processes in place.
Right.
The other way we've seen people think about it is from a process standpoint.
Okay.
Is I'm spending, 8 hours today working on this specific accounting task where I may be reconciling this need, whatever. If I can step back and say, hey, if I spent 2 days trying to either automate this or think through some kind of new process that would make this faster, I'm going to take a few steps back, right? But it's going to push me forward. Yeah. So I work with a controller recently who he still gets paid with a lot of paper checks. Okay. Right. And every day, it's been 30 minutes going through these paper checks, reading the PDFs in the lockbox, trying to reconcile it. Took a bunch of time. What he did quite literally is built his own agent in ChatGPT that could read the checks, push it into a CSV that he could then upload into his ERP. Right. And so, he spent 5 to 30 minutes a day. Yeah. This probably took him 10 hours to make, right? So a bit of a step back. Yeah. Took
to
some
do
time
it. And that's a great point because you almost have to, right? You have to really spend the time or make the space for the time because you have to rethink so much of it. Yes. Right? Yes. And when we think about the future of what the CFO office looks like or the office of the CFO, how does a person get there, right? So if you think about, I think a new company starts out, they have an advantage. Yep. Right? And maybe we start there. It's like, what if you were to start from scratch and build it, what would be the best practices like that a company should be thinking about?
That's what I think is so interesting is these new companies have such an opportunity to scale in a different way. Totally. Right. I don't know what the kind of the Fortune 100 companies today, right? Say like Walmart, my prior company, for example, right? I don't know that they will ever get off the ERP. I know. Right? They've got 50 years of data in there.
It's and all kinds of processes and all kinds of just so many people are trained in a certain way. None of that's written down. Yes. It's like no way. It's company knowledge that's like in the individuals. Yes. Yeah.
But the next Walmart could build on a very different tech stack. Yeah. And quite literally move so much faster. Right. Because they don't have all that weight holding them back.
It's really interesting because it's almost like you wonder too is if you could do it in like the power of finance, and what it allows you to do in terms of like better insights and better information, you could be so much more competitive.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Is knowing which segments have the best margin.
Yeah.
Right? Where should we double down? Where should we abandon? Where are marketing dollars actually driving impact for us versus, we're just wasting dollars there.
Right.
Right. When you can have those metrics much faster to know what's working for customers, what's not, where to double down, you can move the business so much faster.
Yeah, totally.
And then with lean teams, you can move much faster with a lean team, right? That's often the benefits that a startup like Rillet has against incumbents is we don't have to have a meeting with 20 people to decide what features to build, right? We can get in a room with small folks, decide what to build, and just go do it. So it's similar if you can build your finance team lean with 2, 3, maybe, I don't know, maybe you need 5 people when you get $2 billion in revenue, I don't know.
Right.
But
that's insane.
when you can build a lean team, it lets you move so much faster as a team.
Right.
You can stay connected and collaborate and cohesive because you're working with a lean team.
Right.
Versus a very large team you have to manage.
Love that. So how does a company that's been around for a while, and you guys, I'm sure you've worked with ones that have to approach bringing in a new way, right?
Yeah.
So how do you help companies do that? What are some of the ways that companies, in a way, when you think about it, it's like almost they have to descale their systems in a way and think about how do they get from point A to point B?
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. Yeah. We've seen often with companies what has worked well is finding a partner.
Yeah.
Is someone like Wiss.
Yeah.
Right? Who can help them kind of think through how do I get there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because once again, like they don't have time in their day to day.
That's the real issue, right? It's so much friction just on time, resources, and I think a lack of just, it's not their fault, but like how do they have the current state, right?
Yeah.
How do you have the knowledge of what's really going on? What tools should you use, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then where are you supposed, like you're building the business.
Yeah.
Right? Where are you supposed to find time in your day
Yeah.
to go figure out how to scale your systems and infrastructure in place? There is so much benefit to working with a partner.
Right.
Like we said, like a CFO in a box.
Yeah.
Right. Who can come in and help you figure out which systems to replace, which ones to scale, which ones will help you grow. And obviously like cost money, right? To bring those folks in.
Yeah.
But the ROI, the benefit on something like that, insane, right? We had a customer literally went live on Rillet this month. Previously was closing in 15 days. Now they're closing the books in 3 days.
It's incredible.
First month on the platform.
Yeah.
Targeting 1 day next year.
Wow.
Right. The ROI on that is what, 5, 6,
and
7
how has life changed for them?
Yeah. I mean, like now they can spend time doing all kinds of other projects.
Right.
Right. I mean, they could spend it by the pool too if they want, right? But like there's so much they can now do for the business.
Totally.
Because they've got 10 extra days in their month.
Right.
Right. Think about what you could do if you had 10 extra days.
It's so true.
Incredible benefit.
Right.
And that's with having good systems and good process.
Yeah, and I feel so bad for, many of the, the controllers, the CFOs that we've worked with over the years because there's so much pressure on them to get the right KPIs, right? The right information. Bring me, the latest and greatest and spot trends and all this kind of stuff. Yet they're inundated with so much. And it's really hard for them just to do the blocking and the tackling, let alone provide insights. And like you said before, I think the real challenge has also been you're throwing people at the problems.
Yeah.
And there's also this other trend that's been happening in accounting where there's just less of accountants. And you have these baby boomers where they're exiting out and there's not enough of a supply to come in. So you have this whole disruption that's really occurred since COVID that hasn't gone away, but it's not going to cure it even if you had the people anyway. No. Right. So if we were to say, okay, we magically brought in all of these accountants and now we have the supply, it doesn't change. And I think that's one of the things that we're trying to get across to in educating and evangelizing. And that's what we've loved, what you guys are doing at Rillet is establishing this enthusiasm around there's a better way.
Yes.
Yeah. And so what I mean, again, how does what would be the one thing you would want to say to controllers right now, CFOs that are frustrated, it's taking them a long time to close? What is it that you would say to them to take sort of the plunge into rethinking this?
Yeah, that's a great question. I'll say maybe the first thing I'll say is I think right now is the best time
Yeah.
to be in finance and accounting.
Mm-hmm.
There is,
Love
even
that.
from Rillet, for example, there is so much investment happening in the space.
Yeah.
There are so many new tools, even coming out daily around us for ERP, AR, AP, procurement. There's incredible investment in the space
Yeah.
that I don't think we've seen in a long time.
Right.
So this is quite literally the best time to be in finance and accounting.
And I love that. I mean, because I was blown away. I mean, you guys had an awesome event, San Francisco, a couple months back, and my God, it felt like I was at the awakening of a movement.
It was
right?
awesome.
It was awesome.
It was awesome.
It was like you guys were rock stars, like and just the enthusiasm we saw from, like not just the investing community, but from the people that are on the ground, the controllers, the VPs of finance, the CFOs, the people that I think for years have been neglected, right?
Yes.
They're not even invited to get out.
Yes.
Right?
And not listened to, right? Not brought into the boardrooms,
Right.
not
Never.
interested in what they have to say.
Right.
Just set the budget, close the numbers, get out of here.
Yeah.
Right. My hope for Rillet is that we elevate the profession of accounting.
And it's happening, right? And I think that's what's been like so exciting has been seeing now that there are people that are also reestablishing, I think, and reinventing what the CFO role should be and what the Department of Accounting and Finance should be, instead of such a back office type of operation.
Yeah. There's two trends I think worth highlighting. Is one, Salesforce now has a CFO/COO in same role. Someone who's both a financial officer and an operating officer.
It's interesting.
I think we'll see a lot more of that in the future. There's also Figma just went public a few weeks ago.
Yep.
The CFO that took them public was the first finance hire at the company.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
Amazing.
It is.
The tried and true route for any company when they're ready to go public, you bring in some real CFO.
Yeah.
Right. You bring in someone who's done this before.
Yep.
Who can bring, the structure and
Yeah,
whatever.
absolutely. Right.
It's similar to the 90s in Silicon Valley, right?
Yeah.
The founder starts the company, but as soon as it's time to really grow,
Bring in the MBA and whatever else, right?
Yeah, yeah.
That's right.
And we stopped doing that.
Yeah.
Right now we let founders build.
Yep.
But we haven't done the same thing with finance.
So true.
So I hope that trend continues.
Yeah, I love that.
I hope that the first finance hires and the early employees get to become the CFOs and take the companies public.
It's great.
I think that would be incredibly exciting. And I think it's possible with the tools today.
Same.
Right? You can do that. A lot of the infrastructure that would typically be provided by process and people can come with tools.
Yeah, and talk a little bit about that. So how you see Rillet playing out and how there is, let's call it like the ERP of old, right? Starts to be diminished or however you see this playing out. How does Rillet operate as like the centerpiece?
Yep.
And then how does like a controller or a CFO build from there?
Yeah. Yeah. So the way we think about Rillet, kind of a core differentiator of what we're building versus kind of legacy tools is often the legacy tools are kind of like dumb databases almost. You kind of dump the journal entries in there, but you miss a lot of the rich metadata. So you might say you have a Stripe, for example, and the legacy system can't handle the complexity, right? So you just drop the journal entries in, and it's much quicker, much faster, much less complicated, but you lose all the rich history.
Okay.
You lose the names of the customers. You lose who's churning. You lose who's growing, right? You don't know any detail there because it's just these journal entries.
Right.
Right? What we've done is rebuild the system so we can integrate natively with these tools, and we can bring in all that rich metadata. And that then lets AI be really helpful for you, right? So you can ask questions like, hey, what contracts are for renewal? And it can tell you by customer because it has that detail. You can say what customers are late to pay invoices, right? And then action on that because that detail is in the general ledger, right? So that's what we're thinking about in Rillet is how can we get that kind of rich detail into Rillet so that you can then quite literally build AI agents on top of Rillet and let humans and agents kind of collaborate together seamlessly directly within the ERP.
That's great. So, and then, when you think about for you guys at Rillet right now, you've come out, you've built a brand pretty quickly, which is kind of incredible.
Yeah.
And as you grow, how do you keep that going? What's some of the things you guys are already, I'm sure you're talking about that, right? Like, how do you keep that spirit alive and not become like the behemoth that you're going after now? How do you keep that vibrancy?
Yep. Yeah, we talk about it a lot.
Yeah, I could imagine.
Because I worry about it a lot.
Sure.
As we grow and scale, how do we keep what got us here?
Yeah.
and also evolve to the next phase.
Right?
Yeah. I think it really comes back to people.
Mm-hmm.
Is how do we ensure we are hiring the best people into Rillet?
Yeah.
One of the reasons that I even work for our CEO, and you can see this all across the company, Rillet is very intense. We work very hard.
Oh, you guys do.
we want this to work, right?
Yeah.
And you can't.
Well,
do
we
that without
appreciate
hard work.
that for sure. Yeah.
Right. So we want this to work. So we work very hard.
Yeah.
But we're not jerks.
Yeah.
And that's what I tell folks is unique about Rillet is there is a deep intensity and dare I say like kindness throughout the company.
That's awesome. Yeah.
And that's what I think keeps the culture alive. There's also everyone at the company is here because they're passionate about what we're building.
I was going to say that. I mean, I think a mission first company that you guys are and becoming is going to be, I think, essential to keeping that spirit alive.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like everyone has a story like mine.
Right.
Where they've seen the legacy systems, they've been on them. Even the engineers have built on them, right? They've built to the APIs of the old systems and said, there's a better way.
Yeah.
Right.
We love that.
So
because we got to breathe life into these poor souls that have just been dragged through years and years of just mundane work and never feeling appreciated and never ever feeling like they can accomplish what they're capable of accomplishing.
Yes.
And never feeling, and it's odd, but it's true, and it's unfortunate. A lot of them never feel appreciated.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
They just...
Yeah.
And
you only get noticed if you get something wrong.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Books get closed on time.
Right.
Like you know, financial should be there, right? But if payday gets missed, right? Oh man.
And it's really interesting too because we do even in public accounting, there's incredible work that gets done. There are incredible minds, incredible people. And you know, one of the things that a bunch of us here at WIS that have been here for a number of years, we always said to ourselves, why does accounting have to be such a crappy place to work?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, why is that? And it became almost like it's like self-perpetuated over the years. And I'm really hoping that's why I really felt it was this aha moment when you guys held that San Francisco event from the standpoint of you saw it live, how people are looking at this as a rebirth, right? It's like it's a renaissance for accounting right now. I really believe
I love
that. Yeah.
I love that.
It's an era.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm really grateful for what you guys are doing and keep doing it.
Thank you. Likewise.
Yeah. Because we need it. And I'm really hoping that over the next, 3 to 5 years, we really start to see a lot of these, in the middle market and even the lower end of the middle market, really start to rethink how should I be reinventing my accounting department and to take risks with that.
Yes.
It's like you almost have to just get comfortable with, right? We've been so used to this system for 15, 20, whatever it is, right? 10 years. You almost have to just be okay that you're going to let go of that.
Yeah.
Right. And rebuild. And like you said before, I think what'll be great. And there's like other firms, even Armanino, right? Like us, they're there to help. Right. Yeah. I mean, we're here to help and like how can we be this bridge that can get a lot of these companies to really feel a little bit more like they're supported to do that? Because I think what you said is really true. I think you have an advantage if you're a newer company and you don't have a lot of these things in place. And it is a disadvantage if, like you said, the larger ones that have been so encumbered for years into the way things are done, that's harder to do.
Yes. Yeah. We often think about kind of business model being a competitive advantage, and that is true.
Yep.
Infrastructure and technology is also a competitive advantage.
It really is.
I think about like Walmart, for example.
Yeah.
One of the reasons they were able to scale is they had the best tech in place. They were able to coordinate supply chains and shipping, and they were one of the early adopters of radio and the internet, and use the radio to keep all their hundreds of stores around the country.
That's awesome.
Aligned on one mission. Yeah. Right. So they saw technology as a competitive edge for them, and we see it the same way here. Yeah. Right. Rillet will allow teams to move faster, and that's a moat.
It is.
Especially in today's age.
Totally.
Right.
Yeah.
The fastest moving teams will win.
Yeah.
And the teams that are held back by poor infrastructure, poor tech, poor processes are going to struggle to compete.
Yeah.
Period. But especially in this AI age, is the folks that are adopting and taking risks and moving forward. Yeah. Those are the ones that will win, and the ones that don't, I hate to say it, but like they will be left behind.
I know. And it's really getting to that critical point. Like you said earlier, was, when you think about the acceleration, even just since the beginning of the year, it's the speed is really increased, and you will be left behind. That's the challenge. And I think when you look at some of the other advantages that are coming from rethinking what tools can I build with Rillet, right? Because there's other amazing technologies and innovations in our space that are coming that are going to be able to handle some more complex accounting.
Yes.
That'll do it much better than an individual can anyway.
Yes, please.
So, yeah. And it'll be amazing if we could ever stop relying so much on Excel.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Then we'll know we made it. Yes. Well, this is